It's been a slow start to the weekend for the Twins here in Kansas City. They've dropped each of the first 2 games against the Royals, and now they'll try to salvage one in the final game in this 3-game series. Good afternoon again. Welcome to Kauffman Stadium. I'm Marnie Gellner. The Twins had really hoped to get out of the gates here in the second half quickly. Now they will really need a good start from Jake Odorizzi here this afternoon. And Jake himself said he was not happy with the way that his first half went, but he's pretty optimistic based on what he was able to do last season. Odorizzi had an ERA of 4.63 in 16 starts before the All-Star break. That was last year with the Rays. After the break, he dropped the ERA by a full point plus. This year, ERA about 4.5. The walks are also up, but Odorizzi is working on a mechanical adjustment and said that he knows how to persevere through a difficult stretch.
I find it no different this year than last year. Sometimes you just have some tough go at things, and you work through it, and there's no explanation. You just got to keep doing the same routine, same process, and it'll all even out in the end. And that's the way you can really do it. You shouldn't do wholesale changes. Just trying to stay consistent, trying to repeat on a daily 5-day routine of what your routine is, and that's how you kind of get a consistency in the game.
The second half starts this afternoon here for Jake Odorizzi, who said that he's pretty confident he will be able to turn things around and have a better second half of the season than he did in the first half, just the same way he did last year with the Rays. Now with the Twins, they could really use a good start this afternoon, and they could use some more offense from Joe Mauer, who's been a hitting machine. Dick and Roy look at Mauer and his milestone after this.
Connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. Simply put, there's too much at stake for the Twins to be swept by the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City's won the first 2 games, and the Twins will hope to get out of town with a win as the first leg of this week-and-a-half-long road trip wraps up. Eddie Rosario, one of the hottest hitters in the league, and he will hope to lead the Twins back into the win column here this afternoon. And good Sunday afternoon to you from Kauffman Stadium. Dick Bramer along with Roy Smalley. The Twins have struggled out of the All-Star break, losing 2 games here to the Kansas City Royals. But right now, Joe Mauer swinging the bat about as well as he ever has.
It's been a joy to watch Joe hit all of these years. One of the best hitters in the game. Now he's the Twins' all-time leader in doubles and swinging it as well as he ever has. 4 line drives last night, including this double that put him #1 in the Twins list. The only time they got him out, took a diving play by the shortstop to get him. He has just been on fire, and like I say, when he's hot, it's a joy to watch him hit.
For the most part this year, it's been a frustrating year for the Twins. We've seen them on the one hand play pretty well against the Astros, pretty well against the Indians, but for some reason, they're having a tough time against these Kansas City Royals.
Always seems to be the case when one team is really struggling, and the Kansas City Royals certainly are that. There's one team that they handle pretty well, then unfortunately, that's been the Twins this year, and the Twins have to change that quickly. Get back in the win column today against Kansas City, and then go about their business beating teams that they really should beat if they're going to get back in this at all.
This is the 50th year of Kansas City Royals baseball, and they've had some great athletes. Hall of Famer George Brett certainly at the very top of the list, but one of the more dynamic baseball players in Royals and baseball history. Bo Jackson is back in Kansas City this weekend. Marty Gellner will have his story when we come back.
Of baseball. We are at Kauffman Stadium. This really is a great sports town. Kansas City has been home to a lot of memorable sports moments and some great athletes like Bo Jackson, who you just saw on the mural there. Jackson is back in town this weekend. He played for the Royals for 5 seasons from the mid to late 80s into 1990 and really left a mark on what he did in this town and just the athlete that he became. Bo spoke with the Royals' Joel Goldberg about his decision to play baseball before he played football.
You always got to keep them guessing. Always got to keep them guessing. I played baseball way before I picked up a football. So baseball was more normal to me than football. And this just happened to work out that once I left college, I got to play professional baseball before I did football.
Two final things. For any of us that grew up in your generation watching, we remember the great football player, we remember the great baseball player, and the kids can look all those videos up on YouTube nowadays, but there was the bow nose. I mean, you had what Michael Jordan had, what maybe Tiger Woods later on had. What was it like to be that type of celebrity off of the field?
Well, the celebrity off of the field was okay. It was good being that celebrity when you're going through customs. It was good being that celebrity when you're trying to get access to fish somebody's private lake that they don't let fish, and things like that. But I usually just keep to myself. Not saying that from an antisocial standpoint.
Privacy.
But it's just privacy, and I figure when I'm at work, I belong to the public, and once I punch the clock to go home, it's time to be dad and family man. So.
Man, Bo Jackson back in town helping the Royals celebrate their 50th season of baseball. They've been bringing back a lot of alumni throughout the season, and Bo is scheduled to throw out the ceremonial first pitch here today. Makes his home right now in Chicago with his family. Even Bo knows the Twins could use a win here this afternoon. Jake Odorizzi and the Twins will try to get one against the Royals. First pitch is next.
Went into the All-Star break with a lot of momentum. A 9-2 homestand set the stage they hoped for. A similar stretch of games out of the All-Star break, but not only have the Twins lost 2 games to the Royals, they've lost 2 games to the Indians in the standings. The margin was 7.5, now it's 9.5, so the Twins can ill afford to lose any more games here in Kansas City, certainly. And then the Twins go to Toronto and then Boston, where it figures to be pretty tough against the team with the best record in baseball. Paul Molitor hoping that the Twins can rebound and put together a good second half as they did last year. And the Menards batting order for the series finale: Joe Mauer, the designated hitter, then Eddie Rosario, Brian Dozier, Eduardo Escobar, Logan Morrison, Mitch Garver, Max Kepler, A-Ray Adrianza, and then Jake Cave.
And the home furniture starting pitcher for the Royals, youngster, but not smallster, Brad Keller. Big young man. First season with the Royals. And actually has pitched pretty well. They're very excited here in Kansas City. They think maybe they've got something here. One of the young players that's going to emerge.
The best part of the Royals team is their fielding and their defense. Take a look at the Royals in the outfield. Brought to you by Northland Ford. Roselle Herrera in center. Alex Gordon, perennial Gold Glove winner, in left. And Bonifacio in right. Moustakas, Escobar, Merrifield, and Duda, the infielders this afternoon. And former Twin Drew Butera behind the plate. John Tumpane is calling balls and strikes. Nick Lentz, Mark Wegner, Jim Reynolds on the bases. And as we mentioned, the Twins will play here today and then go to Toronto to play the Blue Jays for 3 games and then finish the road trip with a 4-game set in Boston against the Red Sox. Twins haven't done much offensively. See what they can get done as they get their second look against Brad Keller this year.
And Pizza Ranch for the win for the Twins. Boys got to get the offense going. They into the break. They had a 11-game stretch where they had quality at bats up and down the lineup. Hasn't been the case here very much, except for the late innings on the first night. But up and down the lineup, get those quality at bats going again. Swing at the pitches you want to swing at. Don't make easy outs early in counts on balls you don't want to swing at.
Keller is a ground ball pitcher, hasn't given up a home run in 56 in the 3rd inning, so we'll see if the Twins can slap the ball around, find some holes, and maybe take a big and early lead. Mauer in the box. He hit the ball very hard 4 times last night and got 3 hits, and the average is up to 283. And a first pitch strike. Joe coming off the disabled list, and it took him a couple weeks to kind of get his swing back, but boy, does he ever have it back. Down and in, and it's 1-1. Keller, a Rule 5 pickup. He's pitched pretty well, both out of the bullpen and in the rotation. Over the inside corner, and it's 1-2. Mauer, a big part of the successful homestand, and he's been swinging it well so far on the road trip. DQ combination, hitting .413 over the last 11 games. Takes up high. Keller made his first big league start against the Twins in late May. Went just 3 innings. They were moving him out of the bullpen at the time, and he's pitched as many as 8 innings in a start. Up and away, 3-2. Coming off back-to-back poor starts against the Red Sox and the White Sox. A total of 7 1/3 innings and 9 earned runs. Full count to Mauer to get things started. Rosario on deck. And going upstairs to get a swinging strike 3.
There's one of the 2 fastballs that the Royals personnel have told us that Brad Keller throws. That's a 94-mile-an-hour 4-seam fastball. You see it straight, riding hard upstairs. We also talk about a heavy sink, heavy 2-seam fastball. He gets a lot of ground balls. 12 double play grounders in less than 65 innings pitched. That's a lot. So he can also, as you see him, able to strike Joe out there upstairs. As we look at his pitch arsenal, the fastballs are a combination of 2, a 72%. 4-seamer and 2-seamer.
There's a ground ball hit into the shift. That's Escobar, the shortstop, and Rosario's gone on 1 pitch. And that'll bring up Brian Dozier. Mauer's been hitting, Rosario's been hitting, and Dozier's come out of the break 0 for 8 so far with a walk. Walked in his first plate appearance out of the break. And the average consequently down to 225. High fly to left. Rosario gone on one pitch and Dozier gone on one pitch, and it's a 1-2-3 first for Brad Keller. Thursday, but 85 degrees. Gorgeous day here to wrap up this 3-game series. The Menards batting order for the Royals. Whit Merrifield leading things off. Jorge Bonifacio, Mike Moustakas, Salvador Perez, Lucas Duda, Rosell Herrera, Alex Gordon, Alcides Escobar, and Drew Butera.
And the home furniture starting pitcher for the Twins, Jake Odorizzi. Hoping to get the second half started out on a very positive note. He was not particularly happy with his first half consistency. He's worked on some mechanical changes, a little difference in his, not only his setup, but also his split finger changeup, and thinks he's got things a little better under control.
Everybody must be in a hurry here today. Merrifield in the first pitch, 1 down. Merrifield flies out on the first pitch, and now the Northland 4 defense for the Twins. Cave in center, Rosario in left, Kepler in right. Escobar, Adrianza, Dozier, Morrison off the disabled list is at first base, and Garver behind the plate. 1 down, and now Jorge Bonifacio. Yeah, there have been some good moments for Odorizzi in his first half of his first season with the Twins. He was the Twins opening day starter, gave up a couple of hits over 6 innings, didn't give up a run in Baltimore. Pitches up, ball 1. But in his 20 starts so far this year, he hasn't gotten 1 out in the 7th inning or later. At best, he has been a 6-inning pitcher. And the pitches per inning, as Anthony talked about in the pregame, right around 20, which mathematically keeps you from ever pitching in the 7th inning.
Right.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. He wasn't brought on board to be the ace of the staff, but the way things started for the Twins, Irvin Santana out and Jose Barrios in his first full year with the club. Twins decided to let Odorizzi pitch in Baltimore, got the season off to a good start. In his last start against the Rays, 4 1/3 innings, a season high 8 hits and 5 earned runs. 2-2 to Bonifacio. Swing and a miss, 2 down. That'll bring up Mike Moustakas.
I mentioned that he was working on some mechanical tweaks. Happens during the course of the season for pitchers, hitters, players on defense. You have to keep adjusting, and they had found, they were looking at an awful lot of video of when he was good and when he was less than good, and thought that they noticed that he was dropping down in his back leg a little bit. He's standing up a little bit taller now. They really felt like that was one of the main differences. His back leg collapsing a little bit, so his release point was inconsistent. But you know, in this game, Dick, sometimes it's not so much mechanics as you think it's mechanics. Whatever it is that says, gets a guy to say, oh yeah, now I feel good. That's right. That's the thing.
You experience that as a hitter.
Absolutely. It just is such a mental game. It's such a game where you can't separate the psychological from the physiological. You really can't. And whatever it takes, and oftentimes it's mechanics, and oftentimes there's just an aha moment when all of a sudden you just feel better. Now you have confidence again, and you do things the way you're supposed to do them.
2-1 to Moustakas with 2 gone here in the Kansas City first. Roll to the left side. Nice pickup by Escobar, and he throws him out. Not well hit, but hit to the hole, and Escobar picked it off for the 3rd out.
Went a long way, and once he catches it, you're going to be out. Strong, accurate arm.
In Kansas City, and here is your scoop from the clubhouse. Logan Morrison has been activated from the disabled list, out there playing first base today in the starting lineup. As Paul Molitor said, it just makes sense to get Lomo out there with a day game after a night game, and hope that we get him back on track pretty quickly here. Jorge Polanco gets an off day. He's been playing a lot since he came back to the Twins, and Molitor also wanted to get A-Ray Adrianza into the lineup because he hasn't played since before the All-Star break. And the big news, though, from the managers meeting this morning is that Irvin Santana will start on Wednesday for the Twins in Toronto. And Dick and Roy, that announcement of Santana making his season debut has been a long one coming, and that is great news for the Twins.
Well, it sure is. Thank you, Marty. The hope was that he'd be ready to go late April, early May, and obviously that didn't happen. Escobar cues one foul over by the Twins dugout. So there will have to be some roster moves made to accommodate his addition to the 25-man roster, the 40-man roster for that matter, because he's been on the 60-day DL. But also for tomorrow's game, Adalberto Mejia is going to make the start for the Twins, and the Twins have to make room for him as well. A strikeout of Escobar, 1 down. Second strikeout for Keller.
Nifty little breaking ball. He calls it a slider. Doesn't throw a lot of them, but that has that good movement, the good tilt on the slider, going down and into the lefty, down and away from right-hand hitter. Quick little breaking ball.
Here's Logan Morrison, just activated from the disabled list. He had a hip impingement. 1 strike to Morrison. Morrison would like to forget about most of his first half with the Twins, hitting sub 200. Check swing 1-1. Second baseman Merrifield is in short right field because that's where most of Morrison's balls in play are hit to the right side. StatCast powered by AWS. 1-1 to Morrison. Tap foul.
You noticed in the StatCast graphic that we just showed you that there are a few balls that he hits to left field, look like about 15% of the time. But I will tell you that none of those will be hit on the ground over there. You look at it, 4% kind of down the line to straightaway left and 11% straightaway left to left center. Those balls are hitting the air almost exclusively. He has the type of swing. It's a low to high sweeping swing. The bat angle just it precludes him from hitting the ball on the ground to the left side.
I asked Paul Molitor about that. He referenced Morrison's swing, his swing. And I never used to hear that term. When I started in this business, players didn't have just one swing. There's a swing and a miss, 2 down. That'll bring up Garver. And I asked Paul about that, and he said, well, no, Paul, had different swings depending on who the pitcher was. He said he'd have a different swing when he was facing Tommy John as when he was facing Nolan Ryan. The situation was different, whether it was a hit and run, somebody he felt if the count allowed him to maybe cheat and try to pull the ball, he had a different swing.
Well, let me just interrupt you there. I mean, the swings most of us had that we took up to plate against Nolan were bad ones.
But it was a different swing.
It was a different it was different than we had against Tommy John. But that's absolutely right. It's a great point. I mean, if you were asked to hit and run, your swing was going to be different than if you had a 3-1 count and you're looking to juice a fastball somewhere. And so it's a different game now in so many ways, in so many definitions, and so many examples of how it's different when you can say that this guy's swing leads to this.
Right. There's a ball hit down the line, and to bring it into this at bat, I think we've seen Mitch Garver has more than one swing. We've seen him with 2 strikes try to be more contact conscious, pushing the ball to the right side. He's not locked into just one swing.
I think that's right.
2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. So you had more than one swing, right? Well, you were a switch hitter, so you had to have 2 swings.
I had 2 swings when the game started, yeah. But your swing is whatever swing you have for the day. It depends on who the pitcher is, what you think the pitcher is going to try to do, what kind of situations you're hitting in. Yeah, absolutely. And another great way to talk about that is something Gene Mauch told me early in my career that had a profound effect on me as a hitter. He said, you know, sometimes you hit pitchers the way you want to.
There's a ball hit hard to center field. Herrera over, and he'll make a catch and then dive. Well hit ball by Garver. It's a 1-2-3 second inning, and Herrera takes a hit away from the Twins catcher. So far, an MLB at-bat is your #1 Twins app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Twins home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at-bat today. Salvador Perez will lead off the second for Kansas City against Jake Odorizzi, who is making his first start against the Royals this year. He's faced them many times before, swing and a miss. But this is his first start against Kansas City in 2018. Perez, Duda, and Herrera will bat in the second inning. And a foul back last night. Perez hit a 2-run home run after the Twins had just taken a 1-0 lead.
And speaking of having different swings, look at this one. This Salvador Perez wants to hit the ball to left field, but he got a pitch up and away from him. Went the other way for a big home run last night.
Down and in. Well, I want to get back to what you were talking about with Gene Mauch.
Well, you know, we're talking about guys needing to have different swings depending on the situation and the pitcher and different things. And Gene told me sometimes you hit a pitcher the way you want to. Sometimes you just have to hit a pitcher the way you can. Meaning, you're going to have some guys you see really well, and you can have your way with it. You throw the ball in, you're going to hit it to your pull field, hit home runs, do whatever. There's some guys are tough on you, and their stuff is nasty enough that you have to just figure out the best way you can to do something good for your ball club. You can't just go up there and flail away and strike out against stuff trying to hit the ball the way you want to hit the ball. I wanted to hit the ball to my pull field as best I could. I was a pretty good fastball hitter. I wanted to pull it had the best chance for home runs that way. But there were certain guys. Roger Clemens was one for me. I didn't pull the ball well against Roger Clemens. He threw the ball by me. I finally had some success, a bit of success against Roger. I just backed off the plate and closed up my stance and tried to line the ball to left field. It gave me 2 or 3 more feet to watch the ball. You watch the ball longer over the plate. You know, if you're trying to hit the ball the other way, you hit it back over the plate. I mean, with Roger's fastball. Oh, look at over the shoulder, barehanded. Anyway, I just think that Gene's comment was so right on, and it's poignant now. Sometimes you hit pitches the way you want to, but sometimes you just have to hit them the way you can.
Another foul over the roof of the Kansas City dugout, still 2-2.
Which was uncharacteristic of Gene, actually, to say it that way, because he was normally pretty grammatical, and normally he would have said you hit pitches the way you're able to.
Right, right. 2-2 to Perez. Duda and Herrera will follow. Odorizzi had a 10-pitch 1-2-3 first inning. Would like to have a nice quick second inning as well. And now missing 3-2. Perez with a 2-run double late in the game Friday, the 2-run home run early. The Royals have scored in the first inning in the first 2 games of the series, not here this afternoon. And he got him on a pitch about a foot outside, 1 away. 1 down, and that'll bring up Duda.
Got him with a changeup there. I think a 3-2 changeup. Split finger was the last thing that Salvador Perez was looking for. Threw him a lot of breaking balls, showed him the ball inside, and then got him with that split finger.
Duda dropped a 2-run single down the left field line in Friday night's game. Probably the most important hit of that game. And then later a big home run. Talking with Ned Yost yesterday generally about shifting and other baseball matters, and he singled out Duda's at bats Friday night, getting a couple of hits to the opposite field of second base. And when he came up the 3rd time, he said, you know, I was really liking what I was seeing, and I was expecting another hit to the opposite field. And then he got a pitch up and in, and he hit it 421 feet to right. And Ned said, well, he liked that one even more than the little chip shots to left field.
Well, and the chip shots weren't by design. He was looking to right and just happened to get beaten and hit him to left, and it was just unfortunate for Kyle Gibson, who pitched him great and pitched very well but for that pop fly that normally would be caught, Kyle Gibson wins that ballgame.
2-1 to Duda. And now 3-1. A couple of 3-ball counts for Odorizzi here in the second inning. But as we discussed yesterday, therein lies the beauty of just making contact. You might be fooled, you might not hit the ball hard, but you might find a landing spot on a pop fly with the shifts and everything. This is about going to come down where the pop fly did on Friday night. This time Rosario has it covered because the Twins had 4 outfielders, and that is Adrianza coming in to make the play. The Twins had 4 outfielders, so anything hit in the air was to that depth was going to be caught.
And that ball right there the other night, you're right, that's almost exactly the spot. And if they had been playing the normal shift with the 4 infielders and 3 outfielders, everybody shifted around, and it's a no man's land right there where he just hit it.
And then Ned Yost said that too, and Paul Molitor has said that too. If a shift gets beaten, they'll react to that. Now in this instance, the bases were empty. That was not the case Friday night, but the bases were empty, and the Twins covering more of the outfield by sending Adrianza out to left field. Strike 1 to Herrera. And on the outside corner, 0-2.
Baseball is such a game of percentages. It's such a game of playing the odds, because and the shift and how you play defensively is one of the best examples. You can't play everywhere. And there are holes out there, no matter whether you shift or you don't shift. You can't play everywhere. So you just have to say, this is where we expect this guy to hit this pitcher the great preponderance of the time and play there. That's why the shifts have happened. They have all this data that says, the guy's not going to hit it over there. Why put a guy there? He's wasting time.
That's why I was surprised, and you were surprised when I relayed the message that Ned Yost said yesterday. He is in favor of banning the extreme shifts.
I don't understand that.
Put a line through second base. You've got to have 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and you have to have all the infielders have to have 1 foot on the dirt. Swing and a miss. Another good inning for Odorizzi. It took a little bit longer than the first inning, but he sets the Royals down 1-2-3 nonetheless.
Mobile. St. Louis slugger Matt Carpenter has had an unbelievable week. Yesterday he homered in both games of a doubleheader between the Cards and Cubs, but he's also homered in the 4 games before that, 3 before that, so 6 consecutive games with a home run. Carpenter's the first player in Cardinals history to homer in 6 straight games. And how about this? The Cards-Cubs are already underway today, Dick and Roy. Matt Carpenter led off the game with a bunt single because
no,
the Cubs
he didn't.
yes, he did. They had an extreme shift, 4 outfielders, nobody on the left side of the infielder. Carpenter with the left-handed swing just laid a bunt down, reached first base easily. He's 1 for 1.
Good for him.
Love it. That's wonderful.
Good for him.
0-2 now to Kepler. Adrianza and Cave will follow against Keller here in the third.
Now the pitcher probably drill him because that's not fair. They bunt it where nobody is. And we just found out that Matt Carpenter scored. So there you are, helping your team.
Pulled hard, but right to the first baseman, Duda, one away. And that'll bring up Adrianza. Sad news to report today from home. Vikings offensive line coach Tony Sperano passed away overnight at the age of 56. And the Twins family will grieve with the Vikings family.
Oh, that's incredibly sad.
Very sad news. So our thoughts and prayers are with the Sperano family, but also to a larger extent the Vikings family. One down, and now Adrianza checks his swing and takes a strike.
Boy, I'm impressed with Keller so far. He's throwing strikes with 2 fastballs and a nifty little breaking ball.
Again, the inside corner, and it's 0-2.
It's got a very late, quick little break, that breaking ball that he's featuring.
He's feeling it right now. He can't wait to throw the next pitch. 30th of the game, and it's 1-2 to Adrianza.
Have I mentioned how much the players playing behind him love the fact that that guy pitches quickly like that and throws strikes?
Well, Bert and Jack talk about that a lot, but as a player who played behind pitchers, it's especially telling that you would feel that way. You were one of the guys that didn't want to be back on your heels. Let's
right,
move things along here.
Let's go. Throw it in there again. Have him hit it to me.
2-2. Quite a contrast. Lance Lynn just struggled from the outset again last night. It just seemed like every half inning, even when the Royals didn't score, every half inning was a struggle. Adrianza strikes out. 8 up, 8 down for Keller, and that'll bring up Jake Cave.
Throwing the ball in good spots to everybody. You see right here, it gets him 3-2 and throws it right in under his hands.
It looked like a little cutter, had a little move on the end of it.
It sure did. It looks like his what we call the four-seamer, the straight fastball, has a little cut action into left-handers, and then the sinker obviously goes the other direction. And that's tough on a hitter. Those 2 different fastballs. We've talked about Kyle Gibson developing that, going with the 2 fastball approach, the 4-seam and 2-seamer, and how it really kind of turned him around. And his ball doesn't have the 4-seamer doesn't have the cut action that this one does.
That's to left, and Gordon, did he catch it or trap it? They're going to call it an out, and Cave will get back to first. I think he trapped it, and Cave now is going to get tagged after rounding the bag, but I think this is a trap, and I think the Twins will get a base hit. You could see the bounce up into the glove, and the Twins will challenge this, and I think the inning will continue. And so they are going to review the apparent trap by Gordon in left field. Cave had a tough time in his at bats last night, striking out 4 times. You could clearly see the ball bounce up into Gordon's glove.
Yeah,
so
it's a trap.
This should get reversed, and it shouldn't take that long, I wouldn't think. Mark Wegner, the Twin Cities native, number 14 there, is the crew chief. And a collective groan coming up from the fans here in Kansas City as they replayed the Gordon trap in the outfield.
Well, he makes great plays. Gold glove left fielder, but perennially, and trapping that ball backhanded like that's not that easy to play, let alone catching it. Just trapping it was it, and keeping it there with him instead of bounding by him was a Gold glove type of play in its own right. But that's a trap.
And consequently a base hit, the first base runner for either team, or so we assume. Gordon came close to getting the thumb of his glove under the ball before it hit the ground, but you could clearly see it bounce up.
And what they're looking for is, did it hit into his glove and bounce in the glove? But it did not. It hit the ground. I'm at least my reading of it and my viewing of it is that way. I'm kind of surprised they're taking this long. I think they're looking to see if there's any way they can say the ball bounced in his glove and not off the ground. That's all I can figure out why it's taking this long. And you watch it right here. The ball will definitely bounce. Does it bounce in from his glove fingers up into the palm, or did it hit the ground? And I'm going to say that's ground.
That clearly hit the ground in front of his glove.
In front of the fingers, yeah.
And bounced up into the glove.
I've seen it where a play like that where the ball actually will travel in the glove. It hit inside the glove and bounce and appear to bounce up in higher into the glove.
Webbing of the glove or whatever. Now the only thing I can think of is, you know, a lot of games are being played here today and maybe there are other challenges. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That is awful.
Wow.
We're still arguing.
I'm arguing about it.
Well, I don't know how that could not have been overturned. I honestly don't. Here it is again. The ball bounces up 3 inches into his glove. If it hits the webbing of his glove, it's not going to bounce as it did.
Yeah, but even more importantly than that, I agree with you 100%. But to my eye, I see the ball hitting grass there. I mean, it looked like at least half the ball was on the grass to me.
Gordon swings and misses 0-2.
Well, like I say, it was a tremendous play by a tremendous left fielder, and the ruling was that as the replay officials looked at it, they just couldn't be sure.
And into the Twins dugout, and everybody okay.
They couldn't say definitively that Gordon didn't get the fingers of his glove underneath that ball and it bounced in his glove. So I get it. I get that the other way would have been the same. I think if they had ruled it a base hit, I don't think they would have overturned that either. It was that close.
And it's an old bromide from broadcasters. How many times does a guy make an apparent catch in the outfield that should have been overruled and ruled a hit, and he leads off the next inning? Chopped up the line, foul.
Well, I do think it's interesting when a guy makes a great play and leads off the next inning.
I think we've determined over the years it happens once every 9 times.
How's that? Okay, explain that to me.
Guy makes a great play in the outfield to close out a half inning. There's a 1 in 9 chance that he's going to lead off the next inning.
But it doesn't mean it happens every game.
No. Drive to left.
There is a 1 in 9 chance. Yep.
Well, that's a catch. 1 down. One thing I wish, and it's a debatable point whether it should have been overturned or not, but I wish there was more transparency in the system. Now, we have a crew of umpires in New York who are ultimately in charge of making the right call in this instance.
Yep.
I can't come up with a good reason why those umpires are not identified. We identify the umpires here on the field, but in this instance, the call is deferred to the crew in New York. Why not identify them? What's wrong with a completely transparent process?
I think it'd be cool if we're going to go that direction to have a camera in that little room wherever they are, and when they reach a decision, kind of like the NFL referee coming out and explaining to us why they make the call. Have them decide, okay, that was a catch, and then put them on camera and said, we've determined that we couldn't tell if that hit the ground or the fingers of his glove, and so we're gonna let the play stand.
Okay.
Cool. Get them on TV.
Then they have to join AFTRA, the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, and union dues to pay and all that kind of stuff. 1 and 2 to Escobar.
Make them publicize their Twitter account so people can freak out and send them nasty things.
The base hit to left, and it is the first hit for either team. Juggled a little bit by Rosario. It's a 1-out single for Escobar. And that'll bring up Drew Butera. More and more, it seems, teams are doing what the Royals have done today. The Twins have done it regularly in the last couple of weeks. You take one catcher and DH him, and you let the other catcher play behind the plate, knowing that you're only carrying 2 catchers. Twins had a little insurance when Astudillo was here. He was sent down to make room for Morrison. But I think there's more freedom for managers now to do that. They're still taking a risk, of course, in the event something were to happen to Butera and Perez, the only one reasonably who could catch the balance of the game, then the Royals would lose their DH for the balance of the game. But I think managers are more apt to risk that now than they used to be. Part of that, I suppose, is most teams are carrying a 3-man bench, and you
just keep pinch hitting
until the 7th inning, and then you just run your pitchers out there to hit. 2 strikes to Butera, hitting just a .164, but doing his usual great job behind the plate. Off the end of the bat, foul. And he cracked his bat. It's the old saying, like father, like son. Drew kind of carries the same game that his dad Sal did, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sal was a very good defensive catch. Took a lot of pride in it. Called the game well. His offense wasn't his strong suit, nor is it Drew's. But Drew is a terrific defensive catcher. Throws great. Throws better than his dad. And Sal was not deficient throwing by any means. But Drew's outstanding.
And fouled away again. Pitch 44 coming to the number 9 batter. Odorizzi's been a little more efficient today than we've seen in the past.
Could use a 2-hopper at Adrianza right here.
Very high, and it's 1 and 2. Gets him to chase upstairs, 2 down, and that'll bring up Whit Merrifield. Join Fox Sports North at the next viewing party Tuesday, July 24th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. at Sunshine Factory Bar and Grill in Plymouth. You can watch Minnesota take on Toronto, enjoy drink specials, register for tickets and prizes and more. Visit foxsportsnorth.com/events for details. We will be in Toronto. And you do have your passport.
I have it.
Merrifield with a fly to left on the first pitch of the bottom of the first inning. Up high, ball one. Blue Jays, very similar record to the Twins. Each team with 52 losses. Twins with 44 wins. Blue Jays with 45 wins. Oh, that did not hit Merrifield, but it was not caught by Garver. Luckily, I think the ball caromed out of Garver's glove and then hit the home plate umpire.
Ball up and in. Merrifield spins out of the way, and it hit.
Oh.
It hit Garver just about everywhere. Glove, chest protector, mask. Hit him right in the heel of the glove. Bounce back to it.
2-0. And now 3-0.
It's a fine line for Odorizzi, and on television, literally the fine line of the highest line in the strike zone box that we show you. That's where it's what he tries to hit. He's a high fastball pitcher, and he's trying to hit the upper limits of the strike zone. And when he's good, he's hitting it, and when he's not so good, he's pitching 3-1 a lot.
And it's 3-1 right now. Bonifacio on deck. Royals with just 29 wins on the year, but 5 of them have come against the Twins. 4 here in Kansas City. Check swing, and there's ball 4. Oh, he went, according to Nick Lentz, and it's 3-2. I didn't think he went.
Merrifield not happy with it either.
In between, right?
Yep, it's in between, and it's totally a subjective call. There's a lot of them that are pretty easy to call. That one is, you could make a case either way. But I will guarantee you that in slow motion from the side like that, it always looks like they swing. Much more so than regular speed.
Full count, runner goes, and the pitch fouled back.
Merrifield even madder at himself right there than he was at missing that fastball than he was at the umpire calling swing on the pitch before. That was one he wanted. It was a fastball that was not up where Odorizzi tends to get outs. It was more down the middle. And Merrifield got the pitch that he wanted and fouled it back.
Another 3-2. And a fastball. A swing and a miss, as he's done so many times, going upstairs in the strike zone to get a strikeout. And we head to the 4th.
guys, especially Brad Keller for the Royals. Very, very strong so far. Jaco Odorizzi, for his part, has been much more efficient with his pitches than he had been the first half of the season, throwing 3 different pitches over the plate for the most part, and so through 3 innings, been a pitcher's battle.
Just 34 pitches thrown by Keller, and now he'll face the second, the Twins hitters the second time through the lineup. Mauer struck out swinging his first time up, and he's just taken strike 1 here in the 4th. On the ground, right side, easy play from Merrifield. 10 up, 10 down. And that'll bring up Rosario. We were talking about it in the pregame show, and they happen to be teammates, but I don't know that you could have 2 different hitting approaches than the 2 hitters who have lately been occupying the first 2 spots in the batting order. Mauer, very selective. You have to work to get him to swing the bat and then take your chances. With this guy,
try to walk him. Just try to, dare you.
Or you could pitch him a foot inside, high, low, or outside, and still might end up backing up third base.
Exactly right.
And a good 9-game hitting streak for Rosario. Coincidentally, perhaps, but we have seen the vintage top shelf Rosario ever since it was determined that he was not going to the All-Star game, even though he should have gone to the All-Star game. 2-0. And now 3-0, and Keller's going to do what you said couldn't be done, perhaps. He may actually walk Eddie Rosario. Dozier on deck.
If he throws a strike here, I think the odds are still with the pitcher.
Rosario taking all the way. Got into a big leg kick there, which he normally doesn't do. And Rosario has walked.
Wow.
First base runner of the ball game for the Twins. And that'll bring up Dozier. Dozier on the first pitch, flied out to Gordon to wrap up the first inning.
I just started to say I'm actually happy to see, very happy to see that walk taken by Rosario. It was a good at bat, 4 good takes. And when I mean good take, when I say good take, I mean that it looked like he saw the ball, all those pitches really, really well, and saw them early and didn't even offer at them. He was in good position to hit. He just recognized that it wasn't the pitch he was looking for and took it. And that's when one of the ways you know a hitter's hot.
Up and away to Dozier, ball 1.
You can tell an awful lot about how a guy's feeling at the plate by the way he takes pitches. If he takes pitches with his bat coming forward and checking swings, and he's not in good position to hit. You see a guy like Rosario's last at bat where he's taking pitches in a hitting position, hands back, front side square, just deciding not to offer at it. You know that he's in a really good spot.
Inside now 2-0 to Dozier. Well, Keller had things going his way, 10 up, 10 down. These are the first pitches he's had to throw from the stretch, and he's misfired twice after walking Rosario. Beaten foul, maybe off his foot, 2-1.
There's a ball with a little late sink. That's what the Royals are pretty excited about. The fastballs, the pitches, just the pitch arsenal that Keller has demonstrated. 94 4-seamer, 89 to 92 sinking fastball, 2-seamer. And you see the late movement, and Brian was on the fastball, had a 2-0 count looking for it, got a fastball, pretty much a 2-seamer, and just hit over the top of it because of that late sink.
And swinging through strike 2. Keller has one complete game. It was an 8-inning loss in Seattle. Mariners beat the Royals 1-0 that day. Back on July 1st.
I think Bryant's dinged up a little bit. He won't say anything about it, but that swing looked like one of his wheels is hurt.
Now to right center field and down for a hit. Rosario flies around second on his way to third. He'll be waved home. Dozier will round second and hold up with an RBI double. And the Twins take a 1-0 lead.
Oh, that's a beautiful swing by Brian Dozier right there. And isn't it funny? I think one of his legs is bothering him, a knee or ankle or something. But after hurting it with that, I really think it was obvious that he was hurting on that swing and miss. Then the next pitch, watch this swing. Watch how relaxed it is. He doesn't want to. He don't want to stomp out there and hurt himself again. He just lets the ball come to him and drops the big end of the bat. That's beautiful hitting right there. And sometimes when you can't do too much because you've got a little, you got some pain, it actually helps you.
Here's Escobar running to second without showing any sign of pain. Now, to be fair, it could have been maybe just that swing hurt. Something about the swing.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something that when he jumped up off of his legs there after the swing, it's clear that something twinged.
1-0 to Escobar. And now fouled back.
And it was also clear that his stride on the pitch that he just hit for a double was soft and not in a hurry and not spinning out hard like I don't want to hurt it again, and just had a nice controlled beautiful swing at it.
Escobar struck out swinging his first time up. Pulled hard into right field, a base hit. Dozier will be held at third, and the throw cut off by the pitcher between the mound and home plate. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work, is it?
Pitcher's supposed to be about 50 feet from there. Actually, it turned out he's not in the right spot, but it turned out to be good for the Royals because that throw was so bad the catcher would have to come way up into the infield to catch that ball.
So a walk, then a double, now a single, and Logan Morrison will hit.
You watch the throw here. Well, we're not going to see it, but we saw a real nice at bat by Escobar, and again, good at bat with runner in scoring position by Eduardo Escobar.
Morrison 265 at bats, 66 strikeouts, trying to get the ball to the outfield deep enough to score Dozier from third base. On the ground, he's going to have to hurry. Out at second, relay to first. He hurried, and the Twins get another run.
Good job by Morrison getting down the line to get that run in, stay out of the double play and get the run in. When you know there's one out there for your team, you start busting it right away. He did a nice job to get down the line. I was just going to say before the pitch there that pretty clear runners on first and third, one out. That Keller was going to go to the two-seam fastball there, try to get the ground ball. He got it, but Morrison was fortunate enough to hit it deep enough into the hole he could beat it.
Everything except the double has been hit on the ground. Bauer grounded out to second. Escobar's base hit was a ground ball, and underscoring what Keller does out there. He gets ground balls, and he nearly got a double play grounder. Here's Garver lined out to center field his first time up. Hit the ball back near the edge of the warning track. And Herrera made a nice catch and then tumbled onto the warning track. 2 strikes. Foul. Perfect through 3 innings. Now the Twins making some noise in the 4th. And he's not given up a home run now in 60 innings. The record for Kansas City is Mark Gubicza, who
another heavy sinker.
Yeah, at the end of 1 year and deep into the next went 133 1/3 innings without allowing a home run. That's a long time.
That's effective pitching.
Up and in, gets a swinging strike 3. The Twins get a 1-out walk to Rosario of all people, and that opens the door for a 2-run inning. Stretch it out on the grass at Target Field for Yoga Night, presented by United Healthcare, Wednesday, September 5th. Participants will receive a Twins branded yoga mat, Twins game tickets, and an on-field yoga class. Reserve your spot today at twinsbaseball.com/yoga. Have you ever tried yoga or been intrigued with it?
I have tried yoga. One winter, my wife dragged me to yoga 3 times a week.
Did you? Well, I guess that was years ago and you haven't done it since, so maybe the answer's within, but did you enjoy it?
You know, actually I did. It's so good for you, and I was really making some progress. But there came a time when the instructor would come over and say, you know, you have to, this has to go there and this has to go there, and I said, there is no way and no how that's ever going to happen. So
I've heard so many wonderful things about it, and every off season I think, you know, maybe I should do it. It's great for your flexibility and balance and all that.
It's really good for you. I actually did enjoy it. We went to kind of a standard yoga for 2 times, and then we went to a particular form of yoga on the 3rd day on Sunday mornings. That just beat me up. I mean, just beat me up.
That would be my greatest fear, going there and literally being the laughing stock of the whole class.
I wasn't the laughing stock. I was laughing at myself. I can't do that.
Swing and a miss.
Never gonna happen. What do you mean you should try yoga? I saw you try it on the airplane one time.
I was doing planks. I was just doing planks. That's not yoga.
Oh my goodness.
1 down, Moustakas.
That was pretty doggone good, I gotta tell you.
Got me $20. I was bet $20 that I couldn't do what I ended up doing in the aisle of the plane.
Classic Odorizzi high fastball for the strikeout. That's where he lives, and he's very good up there.
Breaking ball slipped out of his hand, ball 1.
And again, we're talking about the hitters' swings of today, and when you can throw a ball consistently 91 miles an hour up in the strike zone and get swings and misses by nearly everybody, Moustakas pops it. This is tough. Escobar fighting the sun all the way. Nice play. But when you can strike a guy out, strike guys out consistently with high fastballs at 91 miles an hour, you know that the swing plane is low to high. It's a launch angle type world right now because it's just different.
Now Escobar's got the sunglasses on, keeping them on. I miss the days of the flip-up sunglasses, don't you?
Yeah.
What a great idea.
It was a great invention. It really was.
Swing and a miss by Perez.
There's the same pitch right up there. I started wearing them when I was 10 years old in Little League. I thought I was cool as heck.
Yeah. And now they just keep them on full time. Maybe it's a question of the sunglasses themselves improving, but it used to be you have sunglasses flipped up when you were peering into home plate, and then if the ball was hit in the air, you'd flip them down. And
well, that's exactly right. And there were some lenses. They had different kinds of lenses on those flip downs. Some were lighter and some were darker. And a day like this, when the sky's real high and no clouds, I can remember being in Oakland and trying a pair of sunglasses. The sky's bright blue, really sunny, no clouds in the sky, and I looked up and flipped the dark shades down, and the ball just disappeared. I had to put the shades back up so I could find the ball. It just,
really?
Yeah, I mean, there are some lenses that did not work depending on the conditions, and I think the various shades that the guys are wearing now full time out there in the field are so good.
High fly to right field. Kepler, does he have sunglasses on? Can't even tell. He made the catch. Nope. Yeah, he does. 3 up, 3 down, fourth. The Twins still in front, 2-0. Pepsi fans of the game, and even though it's a Sunday afternoon and a lot of the Twins fans had to head back to South Dakota, Iowa, Twin Cities, wherever they're from, still very well represented. The Twins fandom, hoping the Twins can win the final game of the series, and it'll be Max Kepler leading things off in the 5th against Brad Keller. Kepler bounced out to first his first time up. Twins hope to play better baseball, hope to start making up some ground on Cleveland, hoping the Indians will come back to them as much as the Twins would like to ascend to Cleveland's level. But individually, I think it's going to be a very fascinating second half for Max Kepler. Hold on the ground, pretty much the same thing he did in the 3rd inning leading off. A ground ball hit to Duda, fairly well hit, but a first out nonetheless. The Twins are still resolute in their belief that there's a level much higher that Kepler can play to. And we're talking about a player who's right on the cusp right now of the theoretical at-bat level for ascension to the next level, or clarity as to what type of player he's going to be. He's got about 1,250 at-bats.
Yep. I think the timeline's going to be a little bit more delayed for Max, just because of him coming to baseball as a youngster late in his youngsterhood. Baseball wasn't his primary sport for quite a while. He's got wonderful athletic talent, wonderful innate ability to get the big end of a baseball bat to a pitched ball. So I think within the next couple of hundred at bats, and you're right, that's going to happen this year, the second half. I'm pretty close to it.
Kepler did what he did in his third inning at bat, and so too did Adrianza, getting worked over inside. Adrianza strikes out for the second time, and that'll bring up Cave. Cave probably should have been credited with a hit in the third inning, a sinking line drive in front of Alex Gordon, and by all appearances the ball hit the ground and bounced up into Gordon's glove. But the call was not overturned and turned out to be the third out of the third inning.
Well, there's no question it bounced. It bounced a good, as you brought out, 3 or 4 inches from the low point, the contact point with glove or ground, and into his glove, higher into his glove. Replay officials just couldn't determine whether he had gotten the fingers underneath the ball and the ball bounced in his glove. So tough luck for Jake Cave.
Down and into Cave, and it's 1-2.
We're talking about Keller and not giving up home runs. Really, two reasons. Have to be two reasons for that. One, we've seen. Well, actually, I think we've seen both of them today. He throws heavy sinker, hard to get underneath the sinker, and he doesn't look like he's going to hang an awful lot of breaking balls.
Tap to the right side. Merrifield from the outfield grass throws him out. Hasn't given up a home run through 5 innings. He did give up a walk, a double, and a single in the fourth, and that's where we stand, 2-0. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. By Grant Casino, the best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. 2-0 Twins. Lucas Duda will lead off the fifth. Jake Odorizzi's been good, and he has been efficient with 63 pitches thrown through 4 innings. Duda hit a pop-up to short his first time up and away, ball 1. Said at the outset, you know, the Twins acquired Odorizzi not to be a #1 guy in the Twins rotation, even though he was the opening day starter. His senior status elevated him to that role at the very beginning of the year. But you're looking at
when Irvin was
out, and again Barrios, next year will probably be the opening day starter.
Remember Barrios, they were trying to set up for that start in Puerto Rico too. So
yep.
they pushed him back in the opening series so that it fell on the right day in Puerto Rico for him.
Strike called 1 and 2, and I didn't think Duda went there either.
Umpires have played to catch, I think.
Well, we all have planes to catch.
Yeah.
It's just a question of.
I'm betting the umpires don't have a charter.
1 and 2. Just missing low 2 and 2.
There's another good example. He's already thrown one excellent split finger changeup to Duda. This is another one, and this is watch this ball stay down in the strike zone and move away from the left hand a little bit. That's the split finger that he's been working on. That's what he wanted to get back.
Poke to the right side, charging from short right field, juggling, and everybody's safe. It was Escobar, of all people, swung way over into short right field, and he commits a rare error to start the 5th inning.
We talked about he's totally unfamiliar with playing ground ball defense from right field. As we watch another very good changeup, Duda with a defensive swing, and with Duda running, just a little bit too much of a hurry, I think, for Eduardo Escobar. We talked about the nice play Polanco made last night, and diving in the hole and throwing out Salvador Perez, knowing that he had time with Perez running. I think that Eduardo Escobar had a little bit more time with Duda there in the short throw to first if he had been able to keep that in mind as the ball came out there. But again, he's in such unfamiliar territory. He's playing back as deep. I'm sure he felt like, oh man, I have to go get that ball. He had more time than he thought.
Fouled back 1-1 to Herrera. Back to Odorizzi. The Twins acquired him to be a 3rd or 4th starter. And you look at his numbers, and they're in line with what you'd expect from a 3rd or 4th starter. ERA 4.5. He's had some games where he's been really good, some games where he hasn't been very good at all. Up high, and it is 2-1.
There's that upper limit of the strike zone. That ball that could have been called either way. That's the pitch that Odorizzi either wants the umpire to call or the hitter to swing at.
2-1. That drifts a little bit outside. Now it's 3-1.
Another split finger, another good action on. And we talked about the two things that Odorizzi had done with pitching coaches, Garvin Alston and Eddie Guardado. One was just a mechanics of standing up a little high, a little taller on his back leg. But the other one, they fixed his. Looks like they fixed his split finger a little bit.
Now Odorizzi with a walk, and the inning starts with an error and base on balls, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And before Alex Gordon's at bat, let's go find Marty Gellner.
Jake Odorizzi is trying to turn around his season at the break just the way that he did last year when he was with the Rays. And Odorizzi talked about staying the course and said it's tough sometimes when things are not going your way because you want to make changes. You want to do big things, but then you have to remember what got you to this point and how you've been successful. He said you can't just try to become a new player overnight by doing something you haven't had success with. And Jake said it's tough and it really tests you, but when things are going bad, you have to stay the course. He said it's one of the toughest parts for a starting pitcher, but that you just have to come out on the other side one way or another. Guys, he did it last year. He's trying to do it again this year.
And within all that, he's going to try to do it here in the 5th inning. Fight through a little adversity with the error. And now the tying run at first, nobody out. Strike 1 to Gordon. Gordon lined out to Rosario his first time up. 7 ground ball double plays for Odorizzi on the season. He's more of a fly ball pitcher. And that slash to the left field corner. Duda will score. Herrera to 3rd. He's coming around. Relay from Adrianza. There will be no relay. It's a 2-run double in a tie game. Gordon poking a double to the opposite field to even it at 2.
Doing 2 changeups in a row. Gordon waiting on that one. That was a nice piece of hitting. The ball slower and moving away from him. He had a nice controlled little stride, almost like he was looking for that pitch, and lined it down the left field line exactly the way a hitter ought to approach that particular pitch.
Odorizzi wants a different baseball, and he flung the one he didn't want rather aggressively towards the Twins dugout. Now Escobar will bat, and Odorizzi, I think, apologizing to John Tumpane, saying, hey, my bad. Got rid of the baseball before he was issued a new one or asked the umpire for a new one. Escobar, the batter, corner infielders up. Squaring and a good bunt. And Escobar fires to first, a sacrifice, advancing Gordon to third. And that'll bring up Drew Butera. This is a situation we mentioned yesterday. Ned Yost saying during batting practice yesterday in my chat with him that, you know, plays like the squeeze play are pretty much, there aren't as many squeeze opportunities. Teams don't use the squeeze play much anymore, and we'll see whether he might try to pull it out of his back pocket here. You've got Butera not hitting.
This would
much.
be the one time
Yeah.
that a manager might try and do it.
Infield is in with 1 out, and the go-ahead run at third. Down and away, ball 1. And then when you do see it, it's almost always a safety squeeze. The suicide squeeze is just not.
A lot of things going on here. With this would be a good count. 1-0. Pitcher wants to throw a strike, but on the other hand, Odorizzi, high ball pitcher. That's hard to bunt.
2-0.
I kind of think that Ned Yost is going to let Drew Butera swing the bat here, but if there was ever going to be a time to bunt, it would be to suicide squeeze. It would be in this situation.
Swing and a miss, 2-1. Now Butera struck out on a high fastball in the 3rd inning, and that's exactly what Odorizzi would love to have him do again here in the 5th.
I'm looking for some kind of movement that Drew Butera did to see if it was a squeeze play sign.
Swing and a miss.
I didn't see one. What will happen in a squeeze situation is the third base coach walks up to he gives the sign to the hitter, and the hitter needs to acknowledge it by doing something. And usually it's a grab your helmet or your belt or something to say, yeah, okay, I see it, so that third base umpire can send the runner. I didn't see anything like that, obviously.
Now a foul back. Hit bat still alive. Butera on the year, 111 at bats, 29 strikeouts. Of course, Odorizzi's strikeout pitch is the one that struck out Butera the first time, that elevated fastball. Popped up, backing out of play. The inning started with an error, backed up by a walk, then a double. And we're tied at 2. Fouled away. Such is life in Major League Baseball in 2018. Escobar committed his error about 150 feet from where he's standing right now.
Pretty good battle going on right here. Drew Butera doing a nice job of spoiling pitches. He has fouled off the high fastball that he struck out on earlier. fouled off some changeups.
21st pitch of the inning. Popped up to the infield. And Logan Morrison with the catch, 2 away. And that's a big out. It is a huge out only if Merrifield is retired. And Gordon is left at third base. Merrifield with a fly to left and a strikeout.
It's also a big out in this way, and it's not maybe as significant, or maybe it's tougher to think about it this way with as many pitches as Odorizzi has thrown. But with first base open now, he can pitch carefully to Whit Merrifield.
Strike on the outside corner.
So he can throw pitches like that if he decides that Merrifield, who's hit 305, is more dangerous. That's a big run out there. He obviously don't want to give up the go-ahead run here. If he'd rather pitch to Bonifacio if he gets in a little trouble with Merrifield, then he can do that.
1-1. Mentioned that Odorizzi's yet to get an out in a 7th inning, and one of the reasons why the third time through the order has been so difficult for him. One and one. And over for a called strike. Breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Well selected pitch there by Jake Odorizzi and Mitch Garver. That's the last pitch in the world that Whit Merrifield thought he might see. We haven't seen, I don't know if we've seen the slow curveball today.
He threw one and it kind of spun out of his hand. It was very high a couple innings ago. 1-2. Odorizzi trying to get the Twins off the field in a tie game.
So he dropped that curveball in there for a strike to just put a lot of doubt in Merrifield's mind now.
Got him.
Yep, good pitching.
And Odorizzi does a wonderful job stranding Gordon at third base. An unearned run and an earned run and a tie game as we head to the 6th.
For the Twins, he passed Kirby Puckett, and Maurer said that part meant a lot to him because Puckett is the guy that he idolized as a kid, and that he also thought it was really cool to see his teammates up on the top step of the dugout when he hit the double, realizing what the moment meant. And then Joe also said that Dan Gladden told him that he should have pulled second base just right out of the ground and held it up over his head, a la Ricky Henderson. But of course, Joe did not do that. The Royals gave him second base, and it's yet to be determined if Joe will keep the base or if he'll donate it to the Twins archives.
Well, thank you. I do have a question about what the Twins are going to do on this base, or with this base, on the rest of the road trip. How do you explain that through customs? We're going to Canada from here, and they're going to want to know.
Well,
what
they're not going to carry it on the plane. You can pack it away in the equipment bags. And
down and in 2-1.
I mean, did you want to carry it?
No, but I just, at some point, somebody has to explain to our good friends to the north what the heck that is. I mean, they scan all the luggage, right?
Well, I suppose if some.
That ball hit to the left field corner, and that ball is foul, just by no more than 2 inches.
It was foul by the amount of grass that Cave's line drive got under Gordon's glove.
Let's take a look and see if we can see where the ball landed. And just off the foul stripe. It is chalk down there that is a natural cinder warning track, and you can see where the imprint was, just to the foul side of the line. 2-2 to Mauer. And poked foul.
Twins got to get something going here in their third time through against Brad Keller. The problem with letting teams that have not had any fun at all during the course of the season stay close to you and give them a chance to have some fun. They take advantage of it. They've not.
Second time that he's gotten Mauer up and in with a fastball, 1 down.
You know, the Royals, how many games have they won? 29 games. I mean, they're just not having any fun at all. It was 27 coming into this series, and that's, you really need to figure out some way to jump on those guys and keep them down. Joe swings it uncharacteristically, a high fastball, good 4-seamer there by Keller, but they got to get something going here. This gives the Royals a chance to get excited about doing something. A sweep of anybody when you've won 27 games that's something for them to really strive for.
It really is remarkable. On July 21st, yesterday, the Royals won back-to-back games for the first time since the end of May. And that's just back-to-back games. Now a chance for a sweep. Biggest mistake that Keller's made so far might have been the 1-out walk to Rosario, and now he has fallen behind him here, 2-0. Rosario bluffs a bunt, takes a strike, 2-1. Fouled back, 2-2. As good as he's been, 9-game hitting streak, a couple of hits again last night. We've seen Rosario do that a lot during the streak, that high fastball that he can crush, and he's fouling it straight back. Foul to the screen. Each team with 2 runs, each team with 2 hits. Beautiful Sunday afternoon in Kansas City. A high fly to right. Bonifacio drifts to the corner. Out number 2. And that'll bring up Dozier. Ashley's our feature in today's Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle. She won $100 in scratch tickets just by saying, "I'm in." Ashley celebrating converting her former Angels fan boyfriend to a Twins fan. So congratulations. Nice work, Ashley. Another win for the home team. The Angels, a game below 500 starting play today, playing their 100th game of the season. Washington Nationals, a game below 500 starting play today. Dozier wraps it wide of the bag, might have cracked his bat. Strike 3. And Dozier thought the pitch was high. And it's a 1-2-3-6 for Keller. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer. Royals took 2 out of 3 from the Twins here in late May. The Twins took 2 out of 3 against the Royals earlier this month at Target Field, and now the Twins are hoping to lose this series 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Bonifacio will lead things off. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Odorizzi's given up 1 earned run, 1 unearned run, both coming in the 5th inning. Popped up near first. Morrison in foul ground. Away. And that'll bring up Moustakas. Odorizzi's been pretty much at best a 6-inning pitcher. Zach Duke getting loose and the pitch count climbing to 90 for Odorizzi. One down on the 6th, and now Moustakas, who's popped up to Escobar and grounded out to him in his 2 at-bats. Swing and a miss.
Boy, in addition to the fact that there aren't a lot of good high fastball hitters in the league, there's something a little deceptive or sneaky about Odorizzi's fastball.
To get so many swings and misses.
So many swings and misses from. It looked like Bonifacio. It looks like he has a hard time with the high fastball. This guy not so much. Moustakas, and even he swung through one up there.
And I guess that's what's been a revelation pitching up there. He's gotten a lot of swings and misses from right-handed and left-handed batters.
Yep.
2-1 to Moustakas. Three and 1. Long road trip that ends in Boston next weekend. Then the Twins are home for 3 games with the Indians and then 3 more with the Royals. And it's the best guess at this point that Moustakas will be somewhere else by then with the trade deadline at the end of July. 3-1. Wrapped on the ground sharply. And Dozier throws him out. 2 down. That'll bring up Perez. The Twins take on the Royals in a couple of weekends. Saturday, August 4th, and before the game, Johan Santana will be inducted into the Twins Hall of Fame. The first 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Johan Santana Twins Hall of Fame bobblehead presented by Delta Airlines. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets to learn more. Twins do such a good job with those Hall of Fame inductions, bringing back the Hall of Fame members from prior induction classes. And so regardless of what generation Twins fan you are, you'll enjoy the night, because Jim Perry will be there and some of the other great Twins from the 60s into the 70s. And then I know that a lot of Johan's teammates will be making an appearance to watch his induction. Guys like Christian Guzman, Louis Rivas, Corey Koski, I'm guessing, will be there.
I got to believe it's going to be great fun for those guys to reunite.
1-1. And there's that slow breaking ball for another called strike. Perez with a strikeout in the second and a fly ball to right in the fourth.
You think Perez has hit well? Hadn't just really hurt the Twins. 71 RBIs in 113 games.
Hook foul.
71 in 113. Yeah. That's some damage.
He was heating up before the All-Star break. Of course, was the starting catcher in the All-Star game, and he's picked up right where he left off before the break. Some significant hits in this series already. Odorizzi cracked his bat. And a swing and a miss. Odorizzi bounces back after a ragged fifth inning and has a 1-2-3-6. So in a tie game.
Story of the game, very good pitching performances from two pitchers and a couple of doubles. Brian Dozier doubling to right center to drive in a run. Twins would go up 2-0, but Alex Gordon, after an error and a walk, would line a ball down the left field line in the fifth inning. That tied the score 2-2, and here we are into the top of the seventh, and Keller's been great.
Escobar with a four-hopper to Merrifield, one away. And one pitch, one out, and that'll bring up Morrison. Morrison drove in the second Twins run by beating out a potential double play grounder. Dozier came in from third base. The Twins had a 2-0 lead, but then the Royals tied it up in the fifth. Would you think it's fair to say that hitters work on hitting at least as much as they did when you played, and maybe more so now?
I think more so.
Okay.
Absolutely more
That's
so.
my impression. One strike to Morrison.
they have more opportunity. There's more facilities
Right.
available to them. We didn't have the underground batting cages where you could take all the extra batting practice you wanted, whether someone was throwing to you or flipping to you or off a tee. We didn't have video until late.
2-1.
Late in my career, and Yankees had some video ability, but for most teams really didn't think you could use it. You certainly didn't see video of opposing pitchers that you were going to see in this series. Boy, these guys can watch on their tablets. They can watch video of guys that they're going to see in the next 3 games, for example.
3-1 to Morrison, and Garver will follow.
Torrey Hunter was great at that. He would spend a long time looking at video of the pitcher he was going to see that night, looking for all kinds of things. Primarily, see if he could pick up a pitcher telegraphing his pitches.
3-2.
And Torrey did a lot of that. Thought he could, and was good at it. He could see guys when he picked up something that would tip him off when a certain pitch was coming, and he would sit on that pitch and do some real damage. But yes, they work on it. They work on it more now. I think mostly just because of the opportunity.
2 hopper to Duda. Keller covers, 2 away. I'll bring up Mitch Garver. Since the Twins got their 2 runs, since Morrison's ground ball made it 2-0, Keller's retired 9 men in a row, and only 1 ball has gone out of the infield. That was Rosario's fly ball in the 6th. Garver is 0 for 2. He lined out to center, hit it to the warning track in center, caught by Herrera, and then he struck out swinging in the 4th. On the outside corner with a breaking ball. Toward the hole, cut off by Moustakas. Another ground ball out. 3 of them in the inning. And the Twins have scored just 2 against Keller through 7 innings. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 6 innings for Jake Odorizzi. They were good innings. 1 unearned run, 1 earned run, and now the Twins hand the ball to Zach Duke to pitch to the Royals here in the 7th inning. He's got Lucas Duda, Rosell Herrera, switch hitter, and then another lefty, Alex Gordon, lined up to face him in the 7th inning. 6 innings, 100 pitches for Odorizzi, 67 strikes, and a much better outing for Odorizzi, his first against the Royals this year.
It's a very good outing by Odorizzi. Gave up just 1 earned run. Only a couple balls even hit hard. Now Zach Duke, it'll be up to Zach Duke to hold the Royals in check till the Twins can get another run or two.
And he was in control. He really pitched his best, I thought, in the 4th inning when it looked like the Royals were going to take the lead.
He had all 3 pitches, actually 4 pitches working for him. His fastball was well controlled up in the strike zone. He had a breaking ball on the outside corner, a little slider, a cutter. Dropped in a couple big slow curveballs, and his split finger changeup was the best he's had in some time. So all in all, I think Jake Odorizzi has to take an awful lot of positives out of this pitching performance today in Kansas City.
Duda will lead off the 7th. He led off the 5th, and he hit a ground ball slowly toward Escobar, who back then and again now is playing him in short right field, but the ball came up and hit Escobar's heel of his glove for an opening error in the 5th. Then Odorizzi walked Herrera. Gordon had a 2-run double to tie the game. Big swing and a miss by Duda. And now 1-1. Duda 3 hits on Friday, including a home run down the right field line. Fouled away, 1-2. Duke and Rogers, Taylor Rogers, the lefties out of the Twins bullpen. Quick pitch there. He didn't really stop at all. Didn't need to. There's nobody on base. One advantage pitchers who pitch from the stretch have when there's nobody on base. You can quick pitch the hitter at times. 2-2. Slow breaking ball, lob foul.
Change the rhythm. Yep, change the rhythm that you're coming to the plate. Anything to try to mess up the hitter's concentration or the hitter's rhythm. Johnny Cueto was fantastic at that. Pitcher that pitched here quite well. KC for a little bit.
2-2 to Duda. That's a bullet to left, down for a hit. And Rosario with the retrieve. Duda's aboard with a leadoff single here in the 7th inning.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC. That was a terrific at-bat and swing there to pay it off for Lucas Duda. Against a left-hander with a big curveball. If you're thinking about pulling fastballs, you'll be way out in front of the breaking ball, especially with 2 strikes. You don't want to make yourself vulnerable. He had a little inside out swing, watched the ball a long time, lined it in the left. That was a professional at bat.
Here's the sequence of pitches.
Well, you see how he's throwing the breaking balls and then finally tried to sneak a fastball in there. Duda protecting against those breaking balls. Watched the ball a little bit longer, let it get back on the plate, lined it in the left. Good hit.
1-1. When Duda reached on Escobar's error to start the 5th inning, the biggest mistake that Odorizzi made was walking Herrera, who's not easy to walk.
Yes.
It was just his 4th walk of the year in 83 at bats after striking him out earlier. Now down and away, 2-1. And then Gordon followed with a first pitch double to tie the game. Fly ball center field. Fighting the sun is Cave. 1 down. And that will bring up Gordon. Gordon hit 2 line drives to left field. One caught by Rosario in the 3rd. The other one settled into the left field corner for a 2-run double. And it was Gordon's 500th career extra base hit. scooped by Garver, ball one. Right-handed hitting Alcides Escobar is next. Trevor Hildenberger perhaps getting loose for that at bat. Might depend on what happens in this at bat. Breaking ball over.
I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to see Hildenberger after this at bat.
Low, and it's 2-1.
Duke pitched last night. Hildenberger pitched last night. Duke's job here was to get the two left-handers out for sure that he was going to see, Duda and Gordon. And move Herrera over to his right side, where I don't think he's as good as left.
How many? One. Safe at first. Twins have already used their challenge. We're in the 7th inning. And the inning will continue. It looked like it took Dozier a long time to get the ball to second base for the force play there.
Yeah, Brian had a little bit of a awkward catch and throw there. It took him just a little bit longer. I think if the Twins had a challenge, they'd use it.
As it is, the inning will continue. Gordon at first, 2 down, and now Escobar. Escobar with a single and a sacrifice. So the inning will continue because the Twins lost their challenge in the 3rd inning. So not only did we believe that the incorrect ruling was made on the field and then not overturned in New York, potential inning ending double play can't be challenged because the challenge was already used in the 3rd inning. If the call had been overturned in the 3rd, the Twins would still have the challenge available to them. 2-0 now to Escobar. Three and 0 with Butera on deck, but a walk would advance Gordon into scoring position. Green lighted on 3 and 0, and Escobar cuts through it. 3 and 1. Escobar with just 17 extra base hits on the season.
I think it has a little bit to do with the fact that Drew Butera's in the on-deck circle. 2 out, 3 and 0. Ned Yost taking a gamble, a chance that maybe Escobar could
find a gap,
score Gordon from first base.
3 and 1.
And I'm thinking that Ned's convinced that if Escobar gets on, Butera will be hitting against Hildenberger, which lessens his odds even further.
Inside corner call. It's a full count, and with 2 down, Gordon will take off from first. Morrison still holding on to him here. And he missed outside. Now first and second with 2 down. Paul Molitor will make the change. And again, what might under different circumstances be a pinch hitting situation for the Royals isn't, because the other catcher, Perez, is their designated hitter. Most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports. You get opinion that cuts through the hype. Catch Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock weekdays at 4 p.m. Central on FS1. Trevor Hildenberger in to try to get the Twins off the field in a 2-2 game.
Hildenberger's been very, very good this year. Started off a little slowly, found a little mechanical tweak, and has been excellent ever since. He's in a big situation here, but he's used to this. He's a late inning. He has made himself a much desired late inning guy for Paul Mulder. Paul likes him out there in the 7th and 8th.
Ball 1 to Butera, who has struck out swinging in the 3rd, popped up in the 5th. The pop-up in the 5th inning, a key out. Escobar had just sacrificed what the Royals hoped would be the go-ahead run. Alex Gordon to 3rd base. Twins had the infield in. Butera popped up. Merrifield struck out. Odorizzi did his best pitching after the Royals had tied the game at 2. There's a strike, 2-1. Fouled back, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. To center, Cave coming in, and the ball gets by him. Will go all the way to the wall. 2 runs will score. Butera to 3rd. They're going to wave him around. Escobar's long throw to the plate is not in time. A 3-run inside the park home run for Drew Butera. And you can't help but think back what might have been on the Gordon ground ball that could very easily have ended the inning.
Well, a lot of things didn't go very well here, but the most important thing, unfortunately for Jake Cave, you just can't be wrong on that play in the bottom of the 7th. If the ball bounces, 1 run is definitely going to score. It may turn out to be the winning run, but as Drew Butera comes all the way in to improbably get an inside the park home run, but you don't want to let the go-ahead run score, but you certainly can't let the 3 go-ahead runs score.
Inside now to Merrifield. And then you go back to the ground ball by Gordon, and of course then you have to go back to the 3rd inning. Back when Cave had his sinking line drive ruled as a catch by Gordon. The Twins used their challenge, did not get the call overturned, and then lost their challenge for what would have been a key challenge in the 7th inning. Not to say that the call would have been out at first base on the potential double play grounder. 1 and 2. And back to Hildenberger. Over to Morrison. 3 for the Royals in their half of the 7th inning. great moment for Butera, but now a 3-run deficit for the Twins, and Max Kepler will lead things off against Brad Keller, who's been really good here today. The Twins lineup not swinging it very well coming out of the break, but Keller's done his part. He's had 3 straight 1-2-3 innings since the Twins got their runs in the 4th. Here's a drive to right center, deep to the gap, and that ball is gone. A home run for Max Kepler, his 12th of the year. And it's 5-3.
So Drew Butera, and probably he doesn't hit home runs and he gets it inside the park, or Max Kepler hitting against Keller, who doesn't give up any home runs and just drills one to right center. Great swing by Max right there.
First home run Keller's given up in 63 in the 3rd innings. And it's 5-3, and now Adrianza, strike 1. They really worked Adrianza over the inside corner in his first 2 at bats, striking him out each time. There it is, another pitch inside and a swing and a miss, 0-2.
And when you're getting worked on with fastballs in there, you get a little bit antsy about getting the bat head out in front, being quick, because you have to hit the ball so much further out in front of you on the inside pitch, and it makes you vulnerable to the breaking ball then, because you're just jumpy and jump out there quickly.
Taken for a ball. You saw Hill warming up after Adrianza, who of course is a switch hitter. Cave, Mauer, and Rosario, 3 lefties, are lined up behind him. Time out was called late. And Butera and home plate umpire John Dumpain have a little discussion about the lateness of the timeout request. And we've noticed that Keller's just in a nice rhythm even after the home run, trying to pick up the pace. That tapped foul, a breaking ball. And hitters will do that from time to time. If a pitcher's out there and he just gets into a nice rhythm, just try to disrupt him, distract him for a little bit.
Or if a little stray thought gets into your brain as a hitter that you don't like, and he's already started into his lineup, you want to ask for times. Hey, let me get my brain straight here.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like the thought that just creeped in there. And believe me, that happens. You get.
But now, what kinds of thoughts? I mean, what, not, Ernest Borgnine was not on Gilligan's Island, not something like that.
No, not anything like that.
Tap foul.
More like, oh, what if he throws me a curveball? It's like, hey, wait. Let me get out of here and get myself back in. Does he have a changeup? Oh, no.
Okay, so it's baseball related.
It's hitting specific.
Up the line foul, and Adrianza's having a tough time hitting anything other than the very top of the baseball against Keller. And he has struck out swinging twice. Inside, 2-2.
You can see what he's trying to do. He's coming in there with the 4-seam fastball, 94, 95 miles an hour. Burying the thought in there that Adrianza, in his brain, he's got to be quick, and then he throws that little breaking ball.
Well, 3-2. Cave on deck. 10th pitch of this at bat. And Adrianza takes a big walk. He earned that base on balls.
Pretty good pitch right here. If I'm Drew Butera and especially Brad Keller, I'm not happy with this call.
Now the lefties will come up, and the Royals will likely bring Hill in, but Ed Yost has to be awfully happy with what he saw from Brad Keller today. Pitching into the 8th inning for one thing, and a chance to win a ball game. really impacted the 7th inning. Jake Cave with the sinking line drive, and by our appearances, we thought that ball was trapped. In New York, they said they couldn't find visual proof, so the Twins expended their challenge, which they might have been able to use here on a very close, nearly inning-ending double play. The original call was safe. The Twins were left without any recourse. A crew chief review can be asked after the 7th inning, but that play happened in the 7th. And then Butera hit the 3-run inside the park home run. Now the Twins are trying to crawl back out of a hole, and Tim Hill will face not Jake Cave, but Robbie Grossman, pinch hitting for Cave here in the 8th. Strike called. Inning started with a Kepler home run, then the walk to Adrianza. Inside, 1-1. Twins are left with bench players Jorge Polanco and Bobby Wilson. And after Grossman, Mauer and Rosario. Big chopper. And Grossman is retired. Adrianza advances to second base. And Adrianza and Merrifield nearly collided. And Adrianza, at the last instant, ducked out of the way. You have to allow the fielder the position to catch the baseball.
Bobby pounds it right down off the plate. Just barely got him at first base, and meanwhile Adrianza had dodged the fielder on the play.
Mauer is 0 for 3, struck out twice against Brad Keller. Now facing the left-hander Hill. Strike called. As we said in our pregame show, Joe swinging it about as well as he ever has before and now after the All-Star break, but Keller struck him out swinging twice. And pretty much the same pitch, a high fastball.
High fastball, yep.
Out in front of the off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2.
And I'll say again, this side winding, side wheeling from a left-hander, you don't see that much in the game today. The stuff is not all that spectacular, but it becomes more so because of that delivery.
Well, how many times you'll see Mauer strike out 3 times, but now he has struck out for the 3rd time today, and that'll bring up Rosario. The Twins have 1 back here in the 8th, and they could really use a 2-out hit by Rosario.
You saw 3 different kind of pitches: an outside fastball, a high curveball is ugly but effective, and then the delivery sneaked a 0-2 fastball by Joe. Very, very surprising.
Swing and a miss. Alan Kuznets getting loose. On the outside corner. It'll probably be the last fastball that Rosario sees. 0-2.
Pretty effective to wheel from the side like that, to kind of sidearm underneath and then zip the ball on the outside corner to left-handed hitters. He did it to Joe. Done it effectively with Eddie now so far. Going out there again.
Look what I found. Hill does a nice job getting Mauer and Rosario and Grossman. The Twins get 1 back on the Kepler home run. It's 5-3. All right, thank you very much. Alan Busenitz will pitch to the Royals in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now, I know I'm going to set myself up for some ridicule here, but I just looked up in the odd chance that Sal Butera got an inside the park home run for the Twins, and he did not.
That's the other thing that Drew does a bit better than his dad. Run.
And we've mentioned this a time or two over the years. Max Kepler in center, Grossman in the game in right field. Outside, the first inside the park home run hit in Twins history. Might have been the least likely inside the park home run hit in Twins history because it was hit by Harmon Killebrew back in 1961. 3-0 and a strike. As Harmon told the story, hit a long blast to center field at Metropolitan Stadium, and it hit one of the posts out there on the fence. Center fielder went back and the ball rolled along the warning track, and Harmon back in 1961 got an inside the park home run. So now I'm looking for Roy Smalley's name here, and I don't see Roy Smalley's name either.
Nope, I got thrown out at the plate on my only time it was ever even had a chance.
3-2 to Bonifacio. Fouled back. Trying to look at the list here, and from memory, an unlikelier inside the park home run. Tony Oliva had a couple. Rod Carew. Randy Bush had one in '84. Popped up. And Dozier retreats, squinting up into the sun, and it's Grossman being called off by Kepler. One away. And that'll bring up Moustakas. You can join the Twins season ticket holder family today. Get the best seats at the best price, as well as instantly enrolled in the Sweet Spot Benefits and Rewards program. Benefits include a 10% discount on food, beverage, and merchandise, early entry on select dates to watch Twins batting practice, and much more. Visit twinsbaseball.com/season tickets and find out more info. Moustakas 0 for 3. And he takes ball 1.
Tries 2 breaking balls there. As we've talked about before with him, he has got to learn to be able to throw that breaking ball for strikes. There's much the way Keller did. He's got a very good fastball, but big league hitters are going to sit on it and just not even care that like he only has 1 pitch. They don't even have the breaking ball in their minds. And he's going to have to figure out a way to throw that for strikes and impress them with that pitch.
3-1. I asked Paul Molitor yesterday about Busnitz's breaking ball, whether he's seen the improvement, and he said not up here, but the reports were in the minor leagues that it was an improved breaking ball, had better command of it. That's one of the reasons he was recalled. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
Well, you see his fastball, lively. There's a 3-1 fastball count to a fastball hitter. Guys hit 38 home runs last year and threw it by him. So, I mean, he's got enough fastball, but not enough to throw it without getting anything else over.
And of course, Moustakas is standing in the box there, fully expecting a fastball, and as hard as it is, 96, 97, it's pretty much straight as a string.
I was talking to Garvin Alston, the pitching coach for the Twins, about Busenitz a little bit, about getting his curveball over. And he said, yeah, that, and the other thing is we like him pitching up in the strike zone.
And a walk will put him aboard.
And you can see why. If he can throw 95, 96, 97, Odorizzi gets swings and misses on 90 or 91. You would think that 96, 97 would play up there as well.
Here's Sal Perez, 2 strikeouts and a fly ball so far today. And Willie Peralta, who has pitched in the first 2 games of this series, might get a chance again here in game 3.
Well, I think he's in the game in the 9th.
Fouled back, a strike.
Bluznitz's curveball, the issue is not the break. It's not the trajectory. It's not how sharp it is. It's not how late it breaks. All those are good. It's just being able to command it down in the strike zone, 4 strikes to make hitters respect something other than the fastball.
Fastball just wide, 1-1. And I
That's
don't
what
know
Keller
how
did so well in the game.
Yeah.
He threw a number of really good curveballs, either for outs or for making his fastball more effective.
1-1. There's a breaking ball, and he might have gotten a double play grounder. Out at second, out at first. So the breaking ball, just one of them, got 2 outs, and he faces just 3 men in the 8th. Third game in a row where the Twins are going to try to come back in the 9th inning. They almost did Friday night, scoring 3 runs, but they needed 4. They were shut down quickly in the 9th inning by Peralta yesterday, and now Peralta will come out and face Dozier, Escobar, and Morrison in the 9th, trying to protect a 2-run lead. He is the new Kansas City closer. Dozier with an RBI double and a run scored in the 4th. 1 for 11 in this series. Down low, ball 1. Peralta in a non-save situation on Friday had a miserable night, and the Twins knocked him out before he could get 3 outs. And then yesterday he went 1-2-3 in the 9th. Fastball and a strike, 1-1. Two and 1.
Well, as we said Friday night when he first came into the game in this series, it's not a stuff issue with Peralta. He's got a good fastball and a good breaking ball. Just like everybody else, it's command.
Dozier barks a little bit after strike 2 was called. Strike 3 was called in his 6th inning at bat on a pitch he thought was up and away.
Yeah, that was an ugly pitch. That was an improbable strike call for sure.
High pop up left field. Alcides Escobar with the catch, 1 away. One down, and now Escobar. Escobar, a single in 3 at-bats. Twins would love to have somebody on board for Logan Morrison in the on-deck circle. And Escobar takes all the way. Off-speed pitch for a strike. And now 2 strikes. Pop up. Easy catch for Moustakas. And the Twins are down to their last out. 2 infield pop ups. And now Morrison will try to keep the game alive with Garver on deck. Royals trying to win 3 in a row for the first time since toward the end of May. They had a streak of 2 games with the Cardinals. They won in St. Louis, then went to Texas and win the opener on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of May. Popped foul, backing out of play, 1 strike. Twins have had 1 hit since the 4th inning. That was Kepler's home run last inning. And the game kind of fell apart on the Twins in that 7th inning when the double play wasn't turned. Escobar was walked, and then Butera hit the inside the park home run. But this lineup has really struggled for the most part throughout this 3-game series. 1-1. And now 2-1. Polanco in the on-deck circle. He apparently will hit for Garver.
Hopefully he gets a chance. Just get a little excitement here at the end of the game for the Twins, who, you're right, have not swung the bats well this series.
Outside, 3-1. And there's a walk, and Polanco will have his chance with 2 down. Paul Molitor essentially using what's left of his bench with this move, because all things considered, the best the Twins can have happen is that we'll play in the bottom of the 9th, but then Wilson will have to catch. And Polanco and Wilson are the 2 remaining bench players. Polanco, as we've said, has really done well from this side of the plate since starting his 2018 season late. Polanco hitting almost 400 from the left side of the plate, 395. Strike 1.
And he's always been a better hitter left-handed than right-handed, but he really got it going second half of last year, hitting well from each side of the plate. Right now, they just need a big blast from his good side here.
Keep the game alive for Kepler, who's in the on-deck circle. Squirted foul, and Polanco wasn't even sure where the ball went. One of those. He was looking back, and the ball ended up over Gene Glenn's head. And now down to their last strike. Got it.
Right there. Yep.
Haven't been many highlights for the Royals this year, but they've just had one this weekend, sweeping the Twins in a 3-game series. Anthony LaPanta, the Twins wanted to come out of the break with the same excellence that they showed going into the break. That obviously did not happen here in Kansas City.